Secrets of Playboy, episode 3. This was kind of a tricky one just because it had a lot to do with sexual assault and stuff like that. So I just wanted to kind of break down the whole episode and see what your feedback on that is, because I actually have some experience with a little bit of this in the industry. That way we could just kind of go back and forth and see what our different perspectives on this are, and then we could just go from there. So the episode starts off with the Playboy bunnies. They're talking about their experiences, and this episode was really heavy on the sexual assaults that happened back in the day and the cover-ups that the Playboy organization did to not only keep this information from getting out to the media, but from the bunnies going to the police and then going to the media and stuff like that. So a couple of things that it starts off with is Hef talks about the Playboy bunnies being the greatest sex symbol in the country. And at the time, they really were, because even to this day, you say Playboy bunny, and it really invokes a lot of the hypersexualized Hollywood at the time. That was part of the thing that really got me and a lot of other people excited about the brand and everything that they were doing, because obviously we didn't know about any of the horrible shit that was going on behind closed doors. So in this episode, they talk about a group of bunnies that had been abducted, basically held hostage and forced to make porno films. Then they talk about the cleanup crew, and they talk about some of the celebrities that got away with shit, like Don Cornelius.
Right.
Is it Suzanne Charnesky or Karnesky? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
Okay, no worries.
Are you talking about the lady who was telling the story about the kidnapping?
Yeah, there are several.
Okay.
We can kind of talk about some of the things that she said in the episode. So Suzanne was talking about how you can get a Playboy card. You were basically a member of the Playboy squad. That was one of the things that a lot of people really wanted to have. They really wanted to be a part of the exclusive club that Hef really portrayed to be, hey, you can pay this membership, you can be a part of the club, and you can experience this Playboy lifestyle that I live. You can come to the club and experience it for yourself. One of the things that I've just personally experienced with that kind of mentality in the nightlife industry is that a lot of the guys who are managing try to take on that persona of Hugh Hefner. They kind of create this mentality that these VIPs more to offer these girls in regards to their careers or just a lifestyle. And then these girls go and chase these VIP members, and nothing good ever comes from it.
Yeah, as far as that story goes, it was a little bit weird in that it's just all over the place. Like, why wouldn't you call the police, though? Wouldn't that be the first thing? Why would you first call Playboy?
Right.
Like the Don Cornelius thing, if you got to a phone, wouldn't your first gut reaction be to call 911, not Playboy?
Yeah, and I thought that was really weird too.
To be saved, like
Exactly.
what is Playboy gonna do? That's your one chance to get to a phone, and you call someone at the Playboy staff. That didn't really make sense.
Well, they were under direct order from Playboy to not go to the police, and whenever stuff happened, they had to call Playboy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. And I think maybe this was just a result of them just being young and not knowing what their rights were or what the legalities of the stuff were. But I think they still had this mentality that, oh, I still want to work here. I still want to be a part of this. And Playboy's going to make it right. They're going to go after these people. And in some cases, they did. There was some of the bunnies that said that some of these guys had been arrested and charged, but they kept everything under wraps, so it wasn't getting out into the media. So that was a crazy thing about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was crazy. How does that even happen?
Obviously, we don't have any of those people online with us right now, so we can't really ask them, maybe later on down the road or something. But I do know of some girls who have been through similar situations, and because it happened off property, the casinos and the nightclubs were just kind of like, hey, that's on you. You put yourself in that situation, and that's how you ended up.
Yeah.
A really good friend of mine met a group of VIP guys at the club that we worked at. She went back to their hotel, and she was the only girl in like 12 dudes. She got really up, got coked out of her mind, and all of them her. The next afternoon, she woke up in the tub naked, battered and bruised. So it does happen. And I'm not saying
Wow.
that she deserved what she got, because she absolutely didn't. But at some point, you really think about the dangers that you put yourself in. I know that when you're young, you don't really think about it, especially when you meet someone and they're nice and they're being really generous. You don't know what kind of evils that they're capable of, especially when there's drugs and alcohol involved. So it's just really scary. And my heart really, really broke for her.
Wow.
I wish more people, especially girls, young girls, would know that there's those evils out there and that they have to be able to protect themselves
Mhm.
from that. One of the things that I really love about working with these girls is I have a particular energy about me, I guess, where guys don't really with me. I don't walk around acting like I'm some hard ass or anything. I'm always smiling. And my girly friends, they used to call me their douchebag repellent. So whenever we were in the club or out on the casino floor or even out at the beach, guys would come up to my girlfriends and then they'd be like, oh, hey, what's up, girl? This, and this. And then they're like, oh, I'm with my boyfriend. And they would look over at me and then I'd walk over and I'd just look at them like, hey, what's up? And they're like, oh, that's your boyfriend? And they would just be like, yeah. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they just turn around and walk away. But then they'd try to go and talk to one of my other girly friends. And they're like, oh, I'm with my boyfriend. And they're like, that's her boyfriend. And then she's like, yeah.
Everyone has the same boyfriend.
Yeah, we're his girlfriends. And then they're just like, what the we'd be at the beach and be surrounded by 10 girls and they're all telling these guys that I'm their boyfriend. So they're like, damn, this motherfucker's a Hugh Hefner. I was just protecting them, you know?
Well, it doesn't work usually. It's just saying that. Even if you say you're married, they're like, "Are you sure you're married?"
Yeah. This one time I was with my friend Adrian in the club and this dude, he was a baseball player or some shit. He just wouldn't leave her alone. And I was just like, hey, bro, back the off. This is my girl. And he's like, what? She's not allowed to talk to guys? And I'm like, she doesn't want to talk to you. And then dude started getting all mad and he started posturing up with me. And I just looked at him. I go, dude, you don't want to do this. This is going to end very badly for you. I said, you should just walk away right now. And I said it really loud. And he started getting closer to me. And then the security guard just kind of swooped up and grabbed him and was like, hey, you need to back the off. And then they just kind of like walked him away. And I think he ended up getting in a fight with somebody later on that night. I was like, dude, like, what the is wrong with some of these guys? It's just ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. I noticed like in the clubs, they don't call police at the clubs either. If there's like fights that happen, if we would have like incidents, because you don't want the cops investigating something. You don't want the cops involved in anything. You know what I mean? So I can see where they probably wouldn't want the cops.
Probably. I've experienced that quite a bit too.
Uh-huh.
In the majority of the clubs at the casinos, if there was a fight in the club or on the casino floor, they would absolutely call the cops. And they had a jail there inside the casino where they would hold these people that they grabbed. And then the sheriff would come and pick them up and then they would haul them off to jail.
Oh.
My cousin got swooped up by them one time and he ended up having to go to jail. So
wouldn't that be a mark against the club though? Doesn't it like bring down the club, like all these police reports or?
well, the thing is that they didn't really have a lot of negative reports to the media because there's just not a lot of media out there.
Mm-hmm.
For example, you know, when they have celebrity parties down in LA or New York or just wherever, there's paparazzi there. You see the news crews, the magazine reporters and stuff out there, and they just don't have that in Tahoe. So when they have the celebrity golf tournament out there, there's not a lot of crazy paparazzi standing around trying to take pictures of these people or handing them down. These celebrities get to go up there and just be chill for the weekend.
Hmm. So, as far as that story about those girls, I was kind of listening to it and they did something away from the club, right?
Yeah.
They were told not to meet anyone. He said, don't mix business with pleasure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And this is why they got fired. What they did had nothing to do with the club other than they met them on the resort grounds. They broke the rules. And that is what happened to them. And they don't want stories to continue to be told over and over and scare the girls. So for a story to keep being told years and years, like this, that, and the other, that creates like women to get scared and worried, you know? It's called war stories. Don't tell war stories, like things from the past. It's just kind of like a standard thing. You don't want to like keep the negativity going.
Right.
Plus, it